The judgment of light. In a world that had known both glories and tragedies, the time had come for the final judgment. The sky was tinged with a deep red, as if reflecting the accumulated human emotions over the centuries. People gathered on a vast plain, where an ancient scale stood as a symbol of justice and truth. In the center of the crowd was Elena, a middle-aged woman bearing the scars of life. She had faced losses, pains, and regrets, but she had also known love and hope. As the voices quieted, a great luminous being appeared before them, radiating light that illuminated every corner of the earth. "It is time for each of you to be judged," said the entity in a soft yet powerful voice. "But this is not a judgment of punishment. It is a moment of reflection and understanding. You will confront your choices and their consequences." Elena felt her heart race. She knew her past was filled with mistakes, but also with attempts to do good. She looked around and saw people of all ages and backgrounds, each struggling with their own memories. The luminous being began to call names. As people approached the scale, they relived their most significant moments. A father who abandoned his family, a young woman led astray by greed, a woman who fought for justice but was silenced. When it was Elena's turn, she took a deep breath. She walked to the scale and felt the weight of the world on her shoulders. The light enveloped her, and like a film, her memories began to flow before her. She saw her childhood, full of laughter and play, but she also remembered the day she lost her mother, the feeling of abandonment, and the anger that consumed her. Then came her youth, filled with dreams, but marked by choices that led her to solitude. Elena realized that although she had made mistakes, she had also done the best she could with what she had. The luminous being then approached her. "What have you learned from all this, Elena?" it asked. "I have learned that pain is part of life, but it is also a path to understanding," she replied, her voice steady. "I have regretted my choices, but I never stopped seeking a purpose. I have learned to love, to forgive, and to be grateful for the little things." The scale began to shine intensely. The luminous being smiled. "You are not defined solely by your mistakes, but also by your struggles and the love you have offered to others. What you did with your pain is what truly matters." Then something extraordinary happened. The scale did not tilt toward the weight of wrong actions, but balanced out, reflecting the light of the love that Elena had cultivated throughout her life. The crowd watched in silence, touched by the strength of her words. "Now you can choose. What do you wish to carry with you to the next stage?" asked the entity. Elena thought of the people she loved, the lessons she had learned, and the hopes she still held. "I want to carry my love, my compassion, and the desire to keep learning. I want to be a light for those who are still lost." The entity smiled, and the light around Elena intensified, wrapping her in a comforting warmth. "Then, go forth, and may your journey continue. Love is the true measure of who we are." With that, Elena felt herself levitate, floating toward a new horizon. Looking back, she saw the plain and the people surrounding her. They too were reflecting, confronting their own stories, but now with hope and determination. The final judgment was not an end, but a new beginning. Each soul prepared for its own journey, carrying with them the light of love and the wisdom of lived experiences. And so, in a world that had become dark, the light of love began to shine more brightly, reminding everyone that, in the end, we are more than our mistakes. We are what we choose to be. After the judgment, Elena found herself in a place radiating indescribable peace. It was a vast field, covered in vibrant flowers and surrounded by a gentle light. The atmosphere was welcoming, as if each grain of sand and each leaf was whispering promises of renewal. As she walked, Elena realized she was not alone. Other souls, each with their own stories and experiences, joined her. Some appeared radiant, while others carried a shadow of regret. Yet, there was a deep connection among them, an understanding that they were there to learn and grow. Soon, Elena found a small community. There were people helping each other, sharing stories and teachings. The atmosphere was one of collaboration and support. She realized that their love and understanding were not just ideas, but daily practices. A man approached, his face familiar. It was Miguel, a friend from her youth, someone she had lost touch with amid her struggles. "Elena," he exclaimed, smiling. "I knew I would find you here." Tears welled in Elena's eyes. "Miguel, I'm so sorry for not being there when you needed me most." "Don't worry," he replied, his voice calm. "We are here to heal. What's past cannot be changed, but we can use our experiences to help one another." Together, they began to share their stories with others. Miguel spoke of his battle with depression and how he found strength in art. Elena, in turn, shared her journey of pain and overcoming, inspiring others to face their own difficulties. As the days passed, Elena felt increasingly connected to this new community. Each conversation, each act of kindness strengthened the bond that united them. Together, they formed a support circle where everyone was encouraged to express their fears and hopes. One day, while exploring the field, Elena discovered a majestic tree, its deep roots and branches reaching for the sky. There was something magical about it, as if the tree were absorbing the light around it. As she approached, she noticed small, glowing fruits hanging from its branches. Curious, Elena picked one of the fruits. Upon touching it, a wave of knowledge and understanding flowed through her. She glimpsed past lives, joys and sorrows, connections and disconnections. It was a reminder that all were interconnected, that every action had an impact, even if imperceptible. When she returned to the community, Elena shared her discovery. These fruits represent our experiences, our intertwined lives. We must use them to nurture and strengthen one another. Inspired, the community members decided to cultivate the tree, sharing the fruits and promoting a cycle of learning and love. Each could bring their own experiences, and together, transform pain into strength, sadness into joy. Over time, the community became a refuge for many lost souls, a place where light prevailed over darkness. They organized gatherings where everyone could share their stories, dance, and celebrate life. Laughter echoed through the field, and the tree's light grew ever more intense. During one of these celebrations, Elena remembered her past life, all the pains and regrets. But instead of sadness, she felt gratitude. Each moment, each challenge, had led her here, to a place where love and light were the dominant forces. And so, the story of Elena and her community continued, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. They not only found redemption, but also became guardians of the light, ready to welcome those still lost in the shadows. In the end, Elena realized that true judgment was not about condemnation, but about growth, learning, and the capacity to love unconditionally. And as the sun set over that field of flowers, she knew that the journey was just beginning. The light they had cultivated would be passed on, and hope would always be reborn.